Limited. My Garage Rules is proudly sponsored by You Pull It, Sprint Auto Parts, Newlon Oils, Auto Transformers, Dickies Clothing Australia, Blue Wire Motorsport, and Gap Finance Limited.
I get this strange sensation coming over me when I come to pick you up from your job at KFC. There's nothing but roadworks and damn red lights, and if I don't get a green one, road rage, baby, trying to get to you. Road rage, honey, the things a man will do.
Welcome to My Garage Rules. You will enjoy the next episode. Excuse me.
You grab a line and I'll get a pole, honey. You grab a line and I'll get a pole, baby. You grab a line and I'll get a pole. We'll go down to the crawdad hole, honey, oh, baby mine. What do you do if the creek runs dry, honey? What do you do if the creek runs dry, baby? What do you do if the creek runs dry? Sit in that bank, sit down and cry, oh, honey, oh, baby mine, oh, baby. Saw Uncle Jack with a pack on his back, honey. Saw Uncle Jack with a pack on his back, baby. Ooh, saw Uncle Jack with a pack on his back. Stack him on crawdads and he could pack, oh, honey, oh, baby mine, oh, yeah. Come on. Yeah, I said, hey, little baby, won't you let me in, honey? Hey, little baby, won't you let me in, my kitty pie? Hey, little baby, won't you let me in? A bottle of whiskey and a bottle of gin, oh, honey, oh, baby mine. What do you do when I'm old and gray, honey? What do you do when I'm old and gray, baby? What do you do when I'm old and gray? Say, old man, won't you go away, oh, honey, oh, baby mine. Oh, honey, oh, baby mine. Oh, honey, oh, baby mine.
This is a 34 Ford that we built for the Geelong Nationals in 2008. Got it going and registered all in the same week, and it was our maiden voyage. Freezing cold but no rain. It was a good trip, no real problems, and that was with a normal engine, not a blown one. Solid cam 383, the first one. This one's a 350 with a few good bits and pieces in it. Runs pretty nice. It's probably done more country miles than city miles. A few more rud runs than anything else. Yeah, it runs a 350, turbo 350, 31 spline 9-inch with 389, I think it's got in it. Yeah, it's a satin finished black engine as opposed to like a chrome or polished stainless. It's got a few highlights on it. Just try to keep it a little bit discreet. It's running original centerline wheels. They were a one-off made in the States and got them air freighted out here. They're 2010s on the back and 17.7s or so on the front. Little chassis, Deuce Customs body. It's Borgeson steering column. Just the usual bits and pieces, B&M shifter. It's got the big brakes, twin spot calipers up front, and Banksia rear handbrake set up on the rear. I've got a 37 Ford pickup. That's a rat rod style of thing that is basically over there. That's been a bit neglected lately. Hopefully that'll be on the road within the next 6 months. And then I'm doing a Lakester style 34 that's just in a chassis jig at the moment. That's a little bit different. Big block turbo 350, SoCal I-beam front. Probably use a Winters quick change rear end, and I'm looking to get the Schroeder side steer set up on it and a few other bits and pieces. I've got a lot of the bits for it already and sort of well underway, and I've got a body on order from Deuce Customs that's they're doing a few things, laying back the front screen and a couple other things for it. So yeah, hopefully that'll be online in another couple of years.
Returned, have you? Did you bring my sharks with the lasers? No. Go back to what you were doing.
Well, hi everyone. Look, we've just rocked up and boy, was it hard trying to find a park at the Jafs cruise. Now, the Jafs cruise is, I think this is their 11th one they've run, and 11 years of total chaos. The sort of a cruise car show, it goes from here and then it drives around South Australia. It's a fantastic event and it's put on by Jaff himself. Now, we're going to try and have an interview with Jaff and find out a little bit more about the actual cruise. But, well, we've just found a park. Let's go check it out. Everyone, welcome to the Jafs cruise tonight. Now I'm with the man himself. How are you, Andrew?
Oh, I'm good. Andrew.
Well, do you like to be called Jaff?
I do like to prefer that, yeah.
Why is the name Jaff? Is this a high school name?
It's a long story and it's probably not fit for airing, but...
I only got an R-rated show?
It is an R-rated show. It's a long story and it's an old nickname from high school, yeah.
Hey mate, this show is it's getting bigger and bigger. I mean, I've been to every single one of them so far, and I'd have to say, even though you haven't moved from your spot right now, this would have to be the biggest one so far.
I hope not, but yeah, I don't want it to get any bigger. I'd be quite happy if it was half as many, but it's good to see a good mix of cars. And
so, well, we were talking before. Why do you do it? Why do you do it?
Well, there's no cruisers that have rice and rods and street machines and restos and everything. And I mean, I've got a WRX and a Hudson and a Phoenix and and a Valiant. So I've got Aussie, American, and everything. And I like everything. So get everything together in one cruise.
So how many of these have you done so far?
This is the 11th.
11. So 11 years of these shows, and it's always held around about this time, isn't it?
It's always between Christmas and New Year's, and it's always the last available night before we can have a day off tomorrow. So this year just turns out to be a Saturday night, and a couple of them actually fallen on Boxing Day. And for a few years, everybody thought it was a Boxing Day cruise, and we were going over to West Lakes where it used to be held, and there was 40 or 50 cars sitting there waiting, and it wasn't on until a few days later, but they'd have their own little cruise.
Mate, how many do you reckon are here today?
Probably 1,500, I guess.
Wow, and that's not bad. That's probably the whole population of South Australia, just about.
Yeah.
Well, mate, we appreciate, and actually South Australia appreciate, you putting on the show and making it a great event every year.
We love like meteorites. We love like meteorites. Burn up on re-entry. Burn up on re-entry. We love like meteorites. We love like meteorites. Burn up on re-entry. Burn up on re-entry. Burn up on re-entry. Burn up on re-entry.
Well, we're still at the Jafs cruise, and I just happened to bump into Sean. How are you, Sean?
Not too bad, how are you?
Good. And we have little Flynn. How are you, Flynn?
Good.
Good. And I'll tell you what, Flynn and Sean, this car is beautiful behind me here. Now, it's a 55 Buick.
It is, yes. Four-door pillarless, brought it from Queensland, pretty much as it is, did a little bit of work, and yeah, it's all good fun.
I tell you what, we were just talking a minute ago about the interior. It's just gorgeous. The way that silver fleck goes through the seat there is just awesome. And the air conditioning switches. Now, people might not, well, they're probably looking at it now, but those air conditioning switches, you know when you've got your air conditioner on it, it's like a lever from a jet or something.
It's like when you take off on a jet, you just got to push all the levers forward and away you go from there. So it's definitely old school. Just a nice cruiser, and yeah, it's good fun.
Now, there's probably people wanting to know as well, what's it like to drive on the left-hand side?
It takes about 10 minutes to get used to it, but then it's all good from there.
Well, jump aboard and ride, rock it with me. We can take a trip to the galaxy at the speed of light, or do it in an hour and cool off in a meteor shower.
Hey, we're here with Rob. How you going, Rob?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks.
Mate, this car, what have we got here? This is, I mean, I was standing over there a minute ago, and this thing just took my breath away. What have we got here?
We got a 1951 Dodge Kingsway Custom.
Kingsway Custom. Now, Dodge, obviously because of the Ram on there and the Dodge on the badge and everything.
Yep.
Look, I'm noticing quite a few little custom tricks here as well.
Yeah.
Tell me, what's the most special thing some of the special things you've done to the car?
Well, we've messed around and we've got a Offenhauser twin carby manifold, and we didn't know that. I personally didn't know that you got your Dodge motors. You've got a 23-inch long motor. And the Australians use the Chrysler motor, 25-inch long. So I bought a Dodge manifold thinking it'd bolt straight on. Nah, I had to get that chopped and modified and lengthened, and now I've got my twin carbies on.
So size does matter?
Yes, 2 inches.
By 2 inches.
Yeah.
We love like meteorites, burn up on re-entry, burn up on re-entry. We love like meteorites, we love like meteorites, burn up on re-entry, burn up on re-entry.
Well, hi folks. Well, look, we're here with Brian. How you going, Brian?
Very well, thank you, mate.
This car is awesome. I mean, wow, the colour just hits. I don't know if you can see it on camera there, but the colour just pops right in your eyes there. It's great.
It's definitely a different colour.
Now, I know you didn't build the car, so whereabouts is the car from?
Car come from Sydney. I bought it off of Norman Cormack. Saw it at the Goulburn Nationals in 09. And
Great Nationals, eh?
yes, it was my first Nationals actually, and fell in love with the car. And I was lucky enough to come up for sale 2 years ago, and I bought it.
So we're talking a 28 or 31?
It's 32.
Oh, 32, all 32. Oh, beautiful. You know, sometimes they put the 32 grills on the 31s and the 28s, but this is all 32?
Definitely a 32. It's got a back seat in it, so it's probably not a true sedan delivery, but it's,
That's fine. You don't have to have, a true sedan delivery. I mean, it must be great at drive-ins.
Absolutely.
For those kiddies out there, remember drive-ins. Hey, we're here with Paul. How you going, Paul?
Good, thanks, buddy.
Hey, my microphone's stuck on your tyre, mate, and I'll tell you what, I just better organise that. Hey, look, this is beautiful. This hot rod is a beautiful gloss black, and the white wall tyres, it's got the tunnel ram, it's got everything, mate. How long does it take you to build it?
It took 3 months.
Are you kidding me? 3 months to build this
3
thing?
months. I probably had it about 3 years, but all bits and pieces, and I just got stuck into it one day. It took 3 months to build.
Unbelievable. That's a what's that? There's a name for that, and I can't even think of it right now because I'm not that clever. But tunnel rammed, and what are we looking at here? 350 or?
It's a 302 stroke 347.
A Ford and a Ford.
Ford and a Ford.
Nice.
So don't let the red paint fool you.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't let the red paint fool you. We saw this coming in here, and it just took our breath away as soon as it came in. You get heaps of looks with this thing, wouldn't you?
Yeah, no, get heaps of looks. A lot of people always like the old school style.
Houston, we have a problem. Sevens on loaded dice. I put it all on red and black, came up twice. I put my last dollar in a poker machine. I need a black rhino to get a free spin. I'll be a gambling man till the day I die. Well, I held a dead man's hand, I held it close to my heart. I held a dead man's hand, but I was a one-card short. Well, I held a dead man's hand, I held it close to my heart. I held a dead man's hand, I was a one-card short. Well, I will never fold until God deals that final hand. I'll gamble with your soul, given half a chance. The poker face I wear, it hides the shit that I'm in. As another bingo ticket hits another dirty bin. I'll be a gambling man till the day I die. Well, I held a dead man's hand, I held it close to my heart. I held a dead man's hand, but I was the one-card short. Well, I held a dead man's hand, I held it close to my heart. I held a dead man's hand, but I was the one-card short. The craving for a win is the beast I'll never attain. The feeling makes me sick inside, the house is won again. The monkey on my back keeps hanging on. The odds that I'll shake it, man, are so long gone. I'll be a gambling man till the day I die. Well, I held a dead man's hand, I held it close to my heart. I held a dead man's hand, but I was a one-card short. Well, I held a dead man's hand, I held it close to my heart. I held a dead man's hand, but I was a one-card short.
She flew, guitar picking flew, stole my gal from me. Guitar picking flew, stole my gal from me. He played away, dang, jam, twang, and loo, and away she flew.
Hi, my name is Vinny. This is my 57 Chev. It's been a 6.5 year build. I bought it as an empty shell, and pretty much everything I've dreamt about for the last 20 years has come together in it, and I'd like you guys to have a look at it. We started the engine. It's a 572 cubic inch Merlin big block, tall deck. We've got 335cc alloy heads. It's got a 1050 quick fuel carby. We've had a dyno that's 711 horsepower, 700 pounds of torque. big heavy car, we needed it to shift. With the gearbox, we needed something to hold on to it, so we put together a Turbo 400 with stage 3 and its manual valve body, 3.5 stall converter, 4-inch tail shaft, thickened tail shaft because obviously there's a lot of power. We've got a 9-inch diff at the back, we've got 411 gears, and we've got a Detroit locker centre, billet axles, floater hubs. I wanted the biggest rims possible to get in the back end of the car. So we've got 12-inch rims with 15-inch Mickey T's at the back. 100% street registered, legal in South Australia. Everything's been done properly and I couldn't be happier. When I was a kid, a cousin of mine gave me a magazine. I like cars, but I didn't really know where my favourites lied. Opened the page and there was a red 57 Chevy sitting there. I didn't know what it was, but the minute I saw it, I figured now's the time, this is it, this is my dream car. And I've been through a lot of cars in between, never been happy with them until I landed this. It was a diamond in the rough, but pretty much everything I thought about when I was 10 years old has come out as we see it today. The hardest challenge is finding people to trust. I've had many people in the past when I was younger building cars and they seemed to take advantage of you. You didn't know what you were talking about, didn't have the right connections, but I've been lucky enough to meet the right people. Networking was the biggest plus of building a car like this. You talk to the right people, get the right advice, and it's been great. Everything I've wanted, like I said, I've got, and it's only because I had the right people behind me this time, and I couldn't ask for anything better. I've been lucky enough through people that I know, Jeff being one of them. I got into the Clipsal last year and was lucky enough to get a trip around the racetrack on race day. That was equivalent to a World Cup game of soccer to me because I had my pride and joy in front of 70,000, 80,000 people with my family in the car. Pretty much the day I bought the car, I dreamt about sharing it with my family, and that day it all came together. I've had a couple of incidents, one being at the Clipsal, and it's quite renowned from all my friends, they all know what I've done. I was so nervous about getting on the track and it was a dream come true. I was beside myself, couldn't contain my excitement. Took off doing the lap around the track and I forgot my handbrake. It was on, 3/4 on, and halfway around the track my brakes were burning, gears were failing, I couldn't work out what was happening. I thought we'd have to bail out on the track. Looked down and the handbrake was out fully, so took it off, gears started working again and off we went. But I think my heart skipped a couple of beats that day. Look, there's a million people to thank. A car like this doesn't come together overnight. There was people like Andrew from the very beginning, a good friend of mine that has done a lot of work on the build. Mitch did the engine, a fantastic job. Jason did the gearbox. A guy called Harry did the diff. Carmen Adino Stefanuc did a lot of chassis work and many, many other mods on it. Carl did the electrical and did a fantastic job, of course. Daniel did the upholstery in the car and the boot. And all the other people that pulled together, family and friends, and it's just been a great ride, and I just can't wait to cruise with everybody now to say thanks to them and join them on the streets for some well-earned driving.
Returned, have you? I hope you enjoyed my garage rules for tonight. We'll see you all next week.
Garage Rules is proudly sponsored by You Pull It, Sprint Auto Parts, Newlon Oils, Auto Transformers, Dickies Clothing Australia, Blue Wire Motorsport, and